What's up, guys? In this video I'll be going through my PvP Elemental Druid setup, just quickly showing you what items he's using, and just probably just gonna talk a little bit about the PvP side of things, like how how I think the game is, in my opinion, from my experience, and yeah, that'll be it really. So to start off with, I'm using Circlet Auto setup. To me, it seems like it's the cheaper, better version than having finding a really good, like a bunch of really good rings and using a really nice belt setup, whatever. You will eventually need to use a circlet for at least one of your setups, so might as well just go with circlets all the way through, I think. So obviously Enigma, you could use any Enigma. I think the best one to use in d2r, especially with no strength bug and stuff, I think is the Shroud, because you get the most amount of defense and 77 strength requirement. You're gonna need to add some strength anyways, obviously depending on what kind of jewelry you have, but generally speaking you're gonna need to add strength regardless, and the amount of strength that you will add eventually to your character so you can wear spirit will allow you to wear this enigma regardless that it has 77 strength compared to the mage blade. So yeah, enigma, Hoto, um, 20 faster cast rate rings, so you can amulet, so you can use 18 plus obviously faster cast rate amulet to reach your 163 faster cast rate breakpoint. I've got this one. It's pretty, it's not that great, but it does the job. And as per usual with Hoto circuit setup, you've got a unique ring spot slot, so you're gonna use either Bulkathos, or you could use even Wisp or Dwarf ring. I mean, the Dwarf is not ring is not really that used because you got hot, but yeah, you would change this with Wisp for the lightning setup. But yeah, Bulkathos, Arachnid Mesh as per normal, faster cast rate ring with the best stats you can get, obviously strength, life, mana, resist, whatever. Triangle gloves, the best in my opinion to get because of the cold resists. Spirit, obviously the best stats with the best possible stats that you can get. Obviously we're kind of on a budget, unless you've got like tons of forum gold, you're kind of gonna be on a budget. So yeah, Aldur boots, the best boots you can get. They don't need to be perfect. These particular ones are anti-perfect, just for the just for fun. I managed to find those, but you could use any. Like you're gonna reach 75 fire resist anyways. As you can see, I'm removing 40 right now because they're obviously they don't have the 50. Like 40 is the lowest one, the lowest fire resist they can have, and I'm removing 40, and I still have 70, 73 there. So even with the worst ones, you'll still get 75 resist. And then circlet, yeah, circlet is obviously the most crucial bit. This is a pretty good one. It's got 60 base life, and then I've just socketed it with a perfect ruby. You could socket it with Jauron. When I was building this character, maybe like a couple of months ago, Jaurons were still quite expensive. At the moment, I don't have forum gold to resocket it because jacks and bears have fallen kind of before the reset. But yeah, at the time I didn't want to spend the forum gold for that, and perfect ruby is just as good, to be honest. Have I not today? I think I've covered all of these. Obviously, call to arms 6/6. in Crystal Sword, and then Spirit to Bow. One thing I would say is, because we have the shared stash, you could, I mean, I personally have done this, but, I think it's best, obviously, because you can only play one character at a time, so might as well just, invest in the items that you're gonna use in most of your characters, once, and then you're not gonna invest anymore. So instead of buying a random Hoto, I'd rather buy a Hoto with 40 resist, because that would be useful for my other characters as well, and I can just mule it to the other character if I want to play the other character. And that's the same goes with gold farms and spirits and things like that. So I mean, I don't even plan to ever buy another Hoto unless I need it for for a double Hoto setup on a barbarian eventually or something, but that would be for just for war cries, whatever, for like just a specific setup. But I don't plan to buy another Hoto anyways, or another Enigma ever, kind of thing. So that's the reason why I've also bought a 6/6 call to arms, because this is the only call to arms I'm ever gonna use. So inventory wise, skillers with decent amount of life all the way through, and then small charms. I've got 5 small charms with 10 fire resist, and then 5 small charms with 10 light resist. Light and fire, those are the only resist I care about, because obviously they're easy to adjust to and they're not too bothersome. So if I want to play versus light, what I will do is you got 2 options. So you've got a circlet. I've got this circlet. So if I don't want, if I'm not bothered by cannot be frozen, I can just use this because it has the life and the resist. So I'd use this, and then I'll put wisp on, and that's it. So I've got 80 light resist with wisp, still on 165, faster cast rate, and that's it really. If I want fire, I just go back to the life setup with bull katos, and all you're gonna do is just change hotspurs, and then you got lots of resists. And if for whatever reason you might need some more resist, you could even do this, which is BM, I guess, but it's not there for the BM, but if I need to, I can still use it. So yeah, so this is for the light and the fire. You could, the Thunder Gods is mostly for my Necromancer, but you could also implement it in a few other interesting setups here, because there's some assassins that have lots of melee damage, like venom damage and stuff, and if you want to fight versus them, and they also have traps. What I found to be a good setup for this is if you use Wizard Spike and then Thunder Gods, and then use a bit of damage reduction, so like 2 bear circlet, and I've got this amulet with 75 poison link reduce. This would help with mitigating the venom damage, and then do I need this? I think I needed it. Oh shit. Yeah, I need the extra faster cast rate ring, and so I get 85 light resist, obviously to help me tank the traps, because they also get the plague. All of them play with the plague rune word, and I mean, not that this would help much with the plague, low resist, curse. Even with Wizard Spike, my resists get lowered, but yeah, you just have to be mindful anyways. They do decent light damage as well, especially now that they don't have to use too many what is it? I haven't played Assassin yet, but I haven't even looked into it. But I think what did they do? Like, you don't have to the synergy for the lightning traps. One of them has been removed, I think, so you don't have to spend the 20 points to get the damage. if I'm correct. And then you also don't need to spend 20 points on Mind Blast, I believe, because obviously there's no stuns. So they get lots of damage bonus in that way. So they get like to use 40 different points extra on other bullshit that helps them out. You know, as a mitigation, I guess, you know, for not having the stun anymore. And yeah, so that's the funky setup, like with Thunder God. The durability setup is as follows. So this is gonna stay here. Actually, this is gonna stay here too. Verdungo, and then what did I do? I think that's it. Yeah, Verdungo, and then I get 39 damage reduction, still on obviously on 165 faster cast rate, and that's it. Let me just quickly show you the live situation. I should have showed that earlier, but so with the durability setup, I reach 7,250. This is with the just max durability. I've got max resist. With the vitality setup, with the vitality setup, with the vitality setup, 7,700. With the lightning setup, with the life, which is this, like 7,300, so kind of in the middle. And then obviously if I need to if I need to counter if I'm having problems with you know, being frozen by some trapper or something like that, or melee, like maybe like a spider kind of assassin that has mostly traps, like very little physical damage, then I could use Chamron as well. So, and it just drops my life by a little bit more, I guess. Yeah, 7,100. And the one with the wizard spike, I believe I got like 6,900. The wizard spike Thunder God setup. And the last thing that I have here is this setup. So this is obviously nothing that you'd use right now. Oh no. It's nothing that you would use right now, but let's say in the future they fix some of the stun, like the hit recovery stun situation, and make it so that shockwave is still is viable. If that's the case, then I have this belt to help me with that, because I'm level 95, and after maxing everything that I need to max, including Oak and having 1 point in the zoo and 1 point in Bear, I would need 97 to reach Shockwave, to start Shockwave, so I have it hard started. But, you know, that's 2 levels, which I'm not really bothered to level, so I have this belt to just quickly switch to that, in case they somehow, you know, make it viable to if they make Shockwave viable again, then I can play with you know, with the setup versus Necromancers, and that would be pretty fun. Or you know, you could also play, obviously this is a Vitality setup, but then instantly if you switch to Hotspurs, you can play versus Fire, Energy Shield, Fire Sorceress, and that's, you know, really fun, because you still get the maximum damage, you get the stun from Shockwave, and then, you know, you get loads of resist as well, so you can tank a lot, and the matchup itself is really fun anyways. So in case in the future they change hit recovery and Shockwave, that's why I've got this there. And just a quick thing at the end, just to, just to mention. So hit recovery wise, I'm not bothering with any hit recovery. I think. Let me double check. I think. What was the hit recovery breakpoints? So hit recovery. Druid. So the hit recovery is 42 hit recovery breakpoint. The next hit recovery breakpoint is 63. Sorry, 42 is my current hit recovery breakpoint. I wouldn't bother at all with going for 99. Right now, it's a waste of other stats. So if anything, like for my durability setup, I get to the 63 one anyways, because of obviously Spirit gives 55, and then another 10 from Verdungo, I get to 65. So I reach the 60. I reach the one breakpoint below the 99 hit recovery. So I'm not sure how much these help. I haven't played that much. To be honest, so I cannot really say exactly how useful the difference would be between 42 and 60 and 63, but I can tell you just in general, hit recovery doesn't really matter that much. You can escape from loads of things without having the 99 hit recovery breakpoint. And this just brings me to how this character just plays in general. I feel like it's pretty much the same. With it plays. It's a very strong character for the current state of d2r. I've played versus Necromancer. It feels like pretty much the same to me. I've played with my Necromancer versus Druids. It feels, obviously not the same, but it's still playable, and it's still fun. Like, bottom line, I feel the game is still fun. There's lots of people who say that, it's not fun now that there's no stuns. But I mean, I find, playing versus certain not trappers, just assassins in general, the melee ones. I feel like it's still it's still playable. Like the assassins can still they're still quite strong, especially if you're focused on having melee damage as well, like bleed damage and venom and all that. They're still strong. I mean, I consider that a really good player with an assassin, like the current state of the assassin, would still be pretty good versus a druid, versus an elemental druid. And obviously that would be maybe if you don't use full zoo, maybe like certain things change within the matchups, I feel like, but in general, I think things compensate for each other. So you don't have strength bug anymore like you had in the old game. You don't have weapon switch glitch, which would help you. So you almost have like an automatic weapon switch glitch with the current state of the hit recovery. So in essence, it's the same. So like a good player in the old game, especially like if you're super try hard, and you have like macro weapon switch, to just have a button that just you press it and it spams weapon switch, like switches it on and off all the time, just for the moment that you press it. It just makes you invincible. So in the old game you get that same thing, and it's still a massive pain for assassins. So like if you play with Necromancer or Druid in the old game and you have macro weapon switch, let's say, I mean, you're just as invincible as right now in this game, even more invincible, because it just it's the same. And then actually, yeah, even more invincible, because in the old game you've got strength bug. Here you don't have strength bug. So if you let's say you run this way, you run certain way, there's more consequences to running and spamming things, because the game, the server actually knows where you are, for the most part. So if there's traps around here and you run, these traps would target you and they would hit you. Unlike in the old game where, let's say, you run and then you're weapon switching, and then you run and weapon switch, and just spam tornado and weapon switching south. Anything that it looks like it hits you, any tornado or whatever, that works with Necromancer too. Any of those that supposedly hit you, they don't make damage to you because you're glitched out. Obviously, you're desync, so you would not get damaged at all. Whereas here, if you risk walking a little bit and like doing some damage, you potentially risk getting hit by traps. So yes, you can escape with teleport most of the time for free, but you would escape most of the time for free in the old game as well. But in the old game you could also weapon switch and walk, and you would be invincible for a lot of the situations. Like the trapper could chase you, and unless they put traps in front of you in certain situations, and you have to actually stay, so like you have to allow them to do that. So in the old game, if you're if you're weapon switching, and then somebody like the trapper would have to place traps, estimating that you're gonna weapon switch this way, they're gonna place traps around here just before you've weapon switch, because they would already estimate that you're like half a screen in front, so they would put traps there to kind of counter you. But all you need to do then is just teleport away. You don't need to stay. You don't need to be in danger of getting actually stunned. And if you just name lock, chase them, and you spam traps, the traps will always be behind them because they would have weapon switch. But on their client, they're way below you. So them traps that you've locked them with would be useless anyways. So it's just I feel like the strength bug situation and desyncing created more advantage in the old game anyways, and now that you don't have the hit recovery, it kind of equalizes, because you get like an automatic stun immunity, which was weapon switch in the old game, but then you don't have the the godliness of having desync like in the old game, which would obviously, like for certain characters and certain matchups, would be cancerous. And it would still be good, it would still be an enjoyable matchup, don't get me wrong, but I don't think the current state of d2r is as bad as some people like in the forums say it is. Personally, I enjoyed it. I haven't played too much of it, having said that, I've played just a little bit versus Necromancer. I mean, I've posted a video with some random duels in a public game, and some of these that I've recorded, that's probably like maybe a third of my actual dueling experience in d2r. Like just the little bit that I've posted there in this video, that's probably a third of my whole actual dueling experience in d2r. I haven't dueled much more than in them videos. I've dueled maybe like 3-4 other times for like an hour or two or something, like maybe. Yeah, so I haven't dueled that much more than in them videos, and it seems fun still. The game is still fun in my opinion. So that's it with the druid, and yeah, good luck to everyone in the reset, and I'll see you in the next video.